Good morning everyone. Today I'm doing part 5 of the city building series. I myself am enjoying this series, so I do not plan to ever stop doing this until maybe I get bored of it. So in this video I'm going to be building a hotel, and you might realize that I finally figured out how to time-lapse my videos. So basically I can't do it in Filmforce directly. I have to first download the video and I think the Windows built-in video player, and then I have to speed or time lapse it in there, and then from there I have to download it back into my computer, and then I open the time lapsed video in Filmforce, and then I start editing. So it's quite a hassle, but at least I figured it out. So in this build I mainly use copper blocks and not light blue, cyan stained glass panes. I I don't think I used glass panes in any of my other builds, as far as I know. I might be forgetting some, but for the most part I always use like glass blocks, not glass panes. And it's not easy using glass panes with especially with how small they are and the hitbox. Yeah, I made a few mistakes throughout the build. I was actually expecting this build to be pretty quick. I decided to make it smaller than the build I made in the last video, and a little shorter, right? But for some reason it took me like a lot longer than I expected to complete the build, and that's why I'm time-lapsing it. Because, watching me building something for like 20 minutes, that's gonna get pretty boring, especially because I don't make like a lot of different things in this build. I just mainly stick to like a certain theme. Okay, so here I decided to cap off the first half of the build using quartz slabs and quartz blocks. Like the last build, I decided to split the hotel in two halves, the bottom half and the top half. The bottom half would be kind of like the regular hotel rooms and stuff, and the top half would be like the suites and stuff, where all the rich people go to stay. Um, Obviously, just like in every other build, I didn't make an interior in this hotel, but that's the idea I was going behind. So I'm gonna make the top half a little smaller. I'm gonna like cut off one of the corners. So here I move on to the sides of the building. For this side, I just kind of mimic like the front side, except it's a little smaller, and it's asymmetrical, not completely symmetrical. So there's only like one one singular glass column, and then another just big glass window. Okay, so for the back side, I decided to do something different. I just completely make it copper. In most hotels, usually there isn't windows on the back side. At least I don't think so. For this build, I'm not gonna have any windows on the back side. I'm just gonna leave it a blank copper wall because I felt too lazy to like add in the windows and stuff. I'm starting to get lazy with these builds, even though, I was super passionate about like building and stuff, architecture, things like that. But I feel like if I make the back different from all the other sides, it at least adds some variation in the build. So here I'm on the final side of the bottom half of the hotel, and on this side I mimic the same design as on the other side, the one pair like opposite of this side, but I just like reverse the orientation, so the singular column is on the left side and the big glass panel is on the right side. Now I start like capping off the entire bottom half with quartz blocks, and I use quartz blocks as a trim in this build to contrast the dark or darker copper color. Also here, I'm trying to build like a almost like diagonal corner balcony that like leads off the side of the building, but later I just realized it's like, too asymmetrical and there's no like unity to it, or I'm not sure what the right word is, but it didn't look right, so I go back in and remove it. So now I start working on the top half of the hotel. I just basically mimic the bottom half and reflect it over onto the top half, except this time it's gonna be a little small, especially where the balcony kind of cuts into the corner of the building. I make a few adjustments to like, make it look okay. Here I just fill in the empty gaps with blue stained glass or cyan stained glass. So now I start working on the corner that like the balcony cuts into. Um, when I started building, I've ran into a few problems. The glass, it wouldn't like reach the slabs because the slabs are on the bottom half of the bottom half of the block, not the top half. So I had to add in quartz blocks, and also later in the video or later in this like part, I realized that when I tried to add in the cyan stained glass panes, I can barely speak English today, but when I try to add those in, it doesn't like line up with the copper block pillars. So I have to like go in, make a few adjustments, and then make sure that everything lines up and looks symmetrical. It looks perfect. It doesn't look offside or anything, because I don't want to like connect the glass panes to each other because I feel like that looks odd. It looks too small compared to like full blocks. So I just like remove a part and then replace it with copper blocks. So here I'm basically done with the top half of the hotel and I start moving on to the roof. For the roof I also use quartz blocks and quartz slabs. I basically make like, the left side of the hotel like a triangle shaped roof, and the right side I just make it completely slabs. I want to add some variation to the roof. I don't want to make it just like a flat surface because before I built this, I actually went on the internet and looked for images of hotels to get some inspiration, and usually the roofs, they're not like just flat surfaces unless the hotel is in like some suburban area or not as urban as a downtown area. But usually in downtown areas, there's balconies, there's penthouses. I don't add a penthouse in this build specifically. I might add a penthouse in a later build. You guys can comment down below if you guys want me to add a penthouse in one of my later builds, and if you guys want me to decorate the interior of the penthouse. But moving aside from that, I don't add anything to the roof other than like a triangle shape and a flat surface. So here I start working on the entrance of the build. I don't do the full interior on video or on camera. I do it later, and that's because, time was running out. I was making the video too long. And that about wraps it up. Thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, subscribe and like this video to support the channel.